What's up everybody, my name is Brenden and this is BigBearB Creative. That's right, we're back again. Second video of the week. It's a little bit of a surprise, but I wanted to bring you more than I have been the past couple weeks, past couple months. So we're going to be bringing you another video this week, and that's right, if you guessed it, if you watched last week's video, yesterday's video, see I'm still in that same mindset. If you watched yesterday's video, you will see I'm still wearing the same clothes, and that's because I recorded this right after. So one, if you haven't watched that video, you should go watch it so you can join in on the whole teasing me about wearing the same shirt. And two, let's just get right into this day's video, not this week's video, because like I said, it's the second one of this week. So today we're going to be talking about astrophotography and how you could do it using a kit lens. So when it comes to astrophotography, there's really just one thing that you need to know, and that's how to shoot long exposure. Long exposure has everything to do with the shutter. Normally, if you're shooting long exposures, you want it to be typically a second or more. You could have it be a little less, but I would really think long exposures is a second more. So if you're shooting astrophotography and you don't have a shutter release remote that you could just lock in and leave open for really as long as you want, the longest you could do is a 30-second shutter. And that's perfectly fine. It's going to teach you a little bit about astrophotography for later on when you can afford to get some new tools and whatnot. Like I said, we're talking about a kit lens. So we're talking about, for me, I use a Nikon. Or at least right now I use a Nikon. I'm not tied to any certain cameras, so all the diehards out there, don't hate at me. I've actually been thinking about other cameras, but right now, Nikon is what I got. So I've been using a Nikon 18 to 55 millimeter. It's a kit lens you get with about really any sort of camera. So that's the one we're going to be focusing on today. As for astrophotography, you really just need to focus on that 30-second shutter release. That's going to open it up long enough for you to draw in some of those stars and get the photo that you're wanting. However, there are certain other things that you can do to your photo in terms of settings, and we'll talk about later when I go into examples. But when you're shooting astrophotography, there are three things you're going to need. And that's going to be a tripod, your camera body, and the kit lens, obviously. There's some other things you could get later on, like that shutter release remote, but we're not using that today. We're just talking about straight kit lens, 18 to 55 millimeter. So without further ado, we're going to jump over to my computer, and I'm going to show you different examples of settings that you could use with your kit lens to get the best astrophotography that you can get.
So here we have three examples and their settings. These are all raw photographs, no editing has been done yet. Unfortunately, you can see that they all have a red hue to them. That is because all the lakes around where I live are all man-made, meaning there is a bunch of lights around. For some reason they're reddish orange, I don't know why, but that's what they chose. But you will see in the edits that I fixed this. And editing is very important when it comes to astrophotography, as it can really bring out elements that aren't shown now. So let's start with the ISO 100. Since the ISO is low, I'll be raising many of the raw development sliders in Luminar 3. This helps bring out some of those hidden stars. Next, I bring up the Sky Enhancer AI and dehaze to help balance out the photograph. The advanced contrast sliders are very important, as I will use it in every photograph in just about the same way. This is also how I make more stars pop. I then lower the saturation of red and orange to get rid of the hue from the lights. And arguably, the most important slider is the small detail enhancer. It actually brings stars out of nowhere. Then we finish with some sharpening and top and bottom lighting. Once again, this is very important as the top light brings out more stars that were hidden. Now we can move on to the ISO 3200. Already you could see more stars are present, but so is the noise from having such a high ISO. And unlike the first photograph, we are going to be lowering the raw dev slider to help deal with some of that noise and to darken the photograph to make it look more like night. I also did the same adjustments for the Sky Enhancer, dehaze, advanced contrast, and the saturation. And once again, the small detail enhancer really goes a long way in bringing out those hidden stars. You can see now, thanks to the larger ISO, there are much more stars present in this photograph of the same composition. And lastly, we have the 6400 ISO. This is the largest my camera goes without becoming too noisy to use. In this edit, all my adjustments are basically the same as the 3200, but you can see that more light is coming from behind the horizon line. And we have a nice light trail from what is probably a plane, but since we can't identify it, it is technically a UFO. So now you can see that with a kit lens and some editing, you could really capture some pretty nice astrophotography shots. I am personally going back and forth between 3200 and 6400 ISO. There are a few more star patches in the 6400, but the 3200 is just a little bit cleaner. Let me know which one you prefer down in the comments section below. And remember, whenever you shoot long exposures, use at least a 2-second timer release to let the camera balance out before shooting.
I hope you learned something about astrophotography with the kit lens today, and that you could go out and use what you learned in this video to help better take astrophotography, or to give you the courage to go and take it. Really, with photography, it just has to do with you going out and doing it. So if you have a kit lens, don't be afraid, go out and do it. You can get some great shots. Of course, you know, the pros and all the people who have enough money to actually buy more equipment, sure, they're going to get some nice shots, but don't worry, you will get there too. So let me know how your kit lens worked with your astrophotography shots. I'll link my social medias down below if you want to feel like tagging me in them or giving me a follow, you know, whatever works. Subtle little hint there, go ahead and hit the follow button. But yeah, and if you like all these photos that I took, go ahead and check my merch page and my Zazzle store, because they might be for sale as a photo print. Those are also linked down in the description. You go ahead and hit that like button. It really goes a long way in helping promote this channel to other people who might like it, as well as this video. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit subscribe, because like I said, it helps promote me. And you know, it really goes a long way in just helping build up what I can do for you and helping just you learn about photography and all of that. And until next time, thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day, and go be creative.